Violet here, second generation homeschooling mom of 3. I have an 8-year-old, a 5-year-old, and an infant. Today I wanted to share with you some of the things that we've used to talk about financial literacy. So let's get into it. So this first series of books is definitely aimed at lower elementary. It's the Money Bunny series of books. There are 4 books in the series. I had to return one to the library already. So there's Spend It, Earn It, Save It, and then the 4th one is Give It. And so they each talk about an aspect of financial responsibility. So Earn It, I think, is supposed to be the first one in the series, but it's this little bunny who wants to buy something and has to figure out how much they have to earn in order to do that. Yeah, so that's pretty much that book. And then Spend It is kind of the same deal, but talking about it from the spending side. If you have this much money and you want to buy something, how are you going to decide what to spend your money on? And then Save It talks about the benefits of saving. And then the last one, Give It, talks about giving your money to, donating your money to various things. The next financial literacy resource we use are these they're from the Federal Reserve Bank of New York. These are free. You can order them online. I actually saw these in a video that Michelle G did. I'll link it down below. And then when I got them, I realized that I had used these when I was a kid. Okay, I opened up the inside and was like, I recognize this. But they've updated them since I used them a little bit. So this first one is Once Upon a Dime, and it just talks about what money is. These are, my daughter is 8, and the Once Upon a Dime, she grasped kind of like the concept of what money is, but I think the ones beyond that, which I'll show you in a minute, went a little bit over her head. So she read them because she likes comics, but I'm not sure that she really got a lot out of them. They're the story of the Federal Reserve. So we talked about this a little bit, and she kind of understood what they were saying, but I think it's aimed at a slightly higher grade level than where she's at right now. Story of Monetary Policy. Story of Interest. This is the one that really kind of lost her. The other one, she grasped maybe not all of it, but a lot of it. But this one, she was just kind of I don't really know what's going on in this one, which is fair. Interests can be confusing. And then the other, I just ordered all of their free stuff since I was ordering those comic books anyway. But What is an Economy poster. So we talked about this a little bit. How do I use economics in my life? So we talked about this a little bit. And then we haven't gotten into these yet, but they have these biography economist spotlights and with little activities and things to do for these different, I think they're all Black economists. Yeah, so those are really cool free resources. All the Federal Reserves have different free resources, so I just happened to like the comic book look of the New York Federal Reserve's ones the best. So we read those with my daughter. So another resource that I'm considering using with my kids actually this summer is the FDIC has this Money Smart for Young People curriculum. And they have different curricula for different grade levels. So I would be doing the grades pre-K through 2 with my kids. My daughter will be going into 3rd grade in the fall, but I think we'll start here just with both of my kids. So for the pre-K through 2, it's 6 lessons, and I'll show you a closer look at this curriculum in a minute, but I just wanted to show you on here, by the time they're high school level, they are exploring a lot more financial topics, a lot more in depth. So it goes through entrepreneurship, budgeting, choosing banks, managing your paycheck, things like that. Buying an automobile, financing college, lots of great stuff. So this curriculum looks really good. I'm excited to try it with my kids. On the webpage, you can download slideshows for each lesson, and then you can download the complete educator guide, and you do need to download both of those separately. So for pre-K through 2, there's 6 lessons, and this has all of the information for each lesson. The beginning of this curriculum has a bunch of information about how you teach, getting started, standards, all of that. This is designed for a classroom teacher, so they're expecting you to spend about an hour on each of these lessons. There is no way we are going to do that here. So I will probably be cutting out and skipping vast portions of this. They also provide cross-curricular connections, which are really cool, but since we're doing this during the summer, I'm not necessarily going to be trying to tie it into other spots in our curriculum. I'm okay doing these lessons quickly and kind of just letting them percolate in their brains. So there's a glossary at the beginning, and then each lesson starts with an overview. It tells you what supplies you need, any handouts, which are included in this, the presentation slides that you'll need to download from the website, essential questions, and then here's some of the different activities that you can do. So this part of the curriculum is scripted. They have these Money Start smart tips, different games. We're probably going to skip most of that. We'll go through the history of money. I don't know that I'm going to use the slideshow necessarily. I might actually use our history encyclopedia. They have grade level modifications since this covers a few grades, kind of how to break it down if you were teaching a classroom. So this whole first lesson is all about money and coins and what they look like. And so instead of doing the play money that they suggest in here, I'll probably use my kids' actual allowance money, which I'll show you how we sort their allowance in at the end of this video. And then it has different classroom activities from the Consumer Protection Bureau. So you can click on these activities and it'll send you to their website. So they provide a bunch of these for each lesson. I'll probably look through and choose maybe one or two to do, and as long as they're not redundant with whatever activity they provide in this curriculum. And then here they have literature extensions, so I'll check these books out from the library and we'll read them when we do this. I'm not going to do any of these writing prompt, math station. So here's the handout for the first lesson. Play money, they can design their own and then they can use it to play store, or they have a whole bunch of different ideas for how to play. So that's kind of a quick look at this curriculum. It's free, so you can download it and take a look for yourself. The last online resource that I wanted to show you is the podcast Million Bazillion from Marketplace. And so this has all sorts of different episodes about different economic and financial questions that kids have. It's above my preschooler's head. He'll listen to it just because he likes listening to podcasts, but I don't know that he's necessarily getting a lot out of it. But I think my 8-year-old is at a place where she's starting to understand not every episode makes sense to her, just because she doesn't have the background knowledge for some of them. But she does talk about some of the things that she hears in this podcast, and she does enjoy listening to it. So my daughter started asking for an allowance earlier this year, and so we started giving both my daughter and my son an allowance, and they both get half their age once a week, essentially. And so then we helped them separate how much they get each week into these different categories: save, donate, gifts, and then spend. Oh, they're all upside down. So gifts is supposed to be sort of standing in for like those expenses that you have to budget for. Spend is money for something like short term that they want to buy. Neither of them have spent any of their money on like short term saving things at all. Donate, it's pretty self-explanatory, money that they're going to donate. They're going to choose something and donate it whenever they have amassed enough. Probably once a year we'll like collect it all up and they'll choose something to donate to, but we'll see. And then save is what they're saving up for a big purchase that they want to make. So both of my kids actually have Lego sets that they're saving for right now that they're really excited about. And then they get their allowance, and then they also can do additional chores to earn additional money. And then they also both do science studies online. And so when I get paid for their science studies, I'll give them the money for that and they'll put it into the appropriate envelope. I hope you found that helpful. I will post links to everything in the description box below. I am an Amazon affiliate, so if you click on a link and make a purchase, I do receive a small commission. Thank you for watching.